Picture this. It's 6 o'clock, early in the morning. I'm walking my dog through the misty woods. I do this pretty much every morning. And besides the crunching of leaves under my feet, I hear a voice. And it's like that every morning. But it's not that I'm like totally crazy, maybe a little bit, but in general, this voice comes not from headphones. It comes directly to my mind. And it actually comes from my glasses. These are smart glasses, and I have them since a year now. The interesting part is it comes to be natural to have this voice. Because the difference between the smart glasses and a headphone is you don't wear anything. The voice just comes. So during one of my walks, I actually realized what is happening here. Because not only am I listening to a podcast, I do a lot of concept work there. So I actually speak with my glasses. And why does this work? Because they got AI in it. I can access AI, can ask things, but the point actually came to me, why am I even listening to this? Why do I trust it? So what I felt is we have a big change coming towards us. With this technology, there's going to be a rapid shift in how we interact with technology. We all thought that AI is something that's like the big thing and change thing. But as long as we still use that on a screen, it's still a screen. But what happens when it is always available and always in our head? And this is what I want to dive into. I want to talk about this change. Because I've been in the IT world for like 25 years now. And if any of you are in the IT world, you probably have seen so many changes that everything becomes normal that is going to be new. We don't do the same thing all the time. But this change here actually made me think that this is the biggest change. And I believe it's even bigger than what we had with AI coming up. So the story actually from this first realization went to one morning speaking with my wife about my fitness routine. I actually picked that up again, and I'm so happy that I can go like 4 times a week now. But it's not only about working out, it's actually about the 90 minutes every time that I can spend listening to podcasts. See the picture again? It's again, no screen. I hear something. So I started to add all of that up, walking the dog and actually working out. And it's about 40 hours per month that I spend screenless, listening to information or interacting with information. So how does this actually impact on us as a society? How will this change how we perceive truth or not truth? How are we going to interact with that? And I truly believe we get to a point that some of you might know from the movie The Matrix. Neon, who's the hero guy there? He does all kinds of interesting backflips and things, but he's given a choice. He's been given a choice between taking a blue pill and a red pill. And with the blue pill, it's all comfortable. Everything is going to stay as it is. Don't question anything. Just take what is given to you as the universal truth. But the red pill, on the other hand, the red pill is going to show you a little bit more or even a lot more. So my first question here is, who feel comfortable with knowing the blue pill is the ignorance, or who would like to know more? So the Matrix moment is actually, I think, the point where we're being led to with these classes and with starting to interact without a screen. Because what are we missing once we start just voice interaction? You don't get the usual cues of truth, right, wrong, user-generated feedback that you have on a screen. There are no stars in my glasses when they talk to me. It's just not there. So we have to think about, of course, what we are going to do now. And everyone needs to do that. Because it's actually, for me, on one hand, thrilling. I always wanted to have something like that. My personal agent AI in my head talking to me, awesome, I love that. Information without end. But is it going to be true? I don't know. I find that a little bit terrifying. So I want to speak to you about 3 main things that we need to do now, from my perspective. The first part is we need to think about consciously making decisions, or consciously saying, I don't want to make a decision, which is just as fair. But I believe that a lot of us actually want to make a conscious decision. So let's take that moment and say, okay, you want to go traveling. So everybody, close your eyes for a moment. And I don't have anything to throw, so don't be afraid of that. But close your eyes and listen to me. All right, I'm your AI. You want to go on vacation, and you want to go to Madagascar. Awesome. Hey, I got this hotel. It's tremendous. It's close to the beach. The food is awesome. You have breakfast all day. You can sleep as long as you want. You can do everything there. Even all the people working there are awesome. They're tremendous. It's $3,000. You want to buy? Okay, lift up your hand if you say yes now. Come on. Nobody. There's a person. High score, you want it. No. Actually, the point that you see now, you wouldn't. But why not? Because we're all used to go to some web page. We're going to see, and yes, please open your eyes again. So I know you don't fall asleep. That's, of course, the point. But we're also used to going to a web page. We're going to see pictures. We're going to see some stars. Yes, it's a rating 9 out of 10 for the breakfast. We all want to see that. But that's gone. It's gone in the moment where, in the morning at 6 o'clock, in 10 minutes, because I've walked a little further, that I decide to go traveling. So what do I need to do now? I need to find a way to actually ask the right questions. I need to find a way to consciously actually find out a way how I would like to buy it again, because the screen is gone. When these glasses were brought out, it was said that this is going to be as disruptive as the smartphone when it came in by one of those larger corporations, not naming anyone. But the thing is, once we have that, we need to read between the lines of saying, of words. Please raise your hand if you have talked to your agent on your phone asking a question today. Who did it today? Please raise your hand. Okay, there's a few. All right. Now, keep those hands up. Now, the next one is everyone else that has engaged with an AI of any kind today, be it a chatbot, be it a concept bot, be it a Gen AI, be it even just a search. Lift up your hand again. Look at that amount of people. That's everywhere. Now, studies say all across the world that 50 to 70% of users of smartphones interact with their agent in one way or the other every day. So this is not out of this world, that we are already in a screenless world. And if we make things convenient, it will be just the faster, okay? So what can we do against this? We need to make a conscious decision whether we want to be asking questions or not. Okay, but what happens if we go up the blue pill road? What is the consequence of that? Of course, it's comfortable. It's always comfortable to not know. And it's uncomfortable to know. So the first part is, of course, you're going to go deeper into the echo chamber. And the echo chamber is actually every algorithm that you interact with in any of the social platforms. Because the echo chamber buys your attention. And attention is the number one asset out there. Because the asset of using something for free can only be bought with time on another space. So those platforms want to keep you in their grasp. And of course they can only do that. And by the way, influencers do exactly the same by showing you the information you would like to hear. So if you just take that blue pill, you're going to get information that you would expect anyways. We see that a lot in democratic processes and politics. You enforce your beliefs by staying in the same bubble. That's an echo chamber, actually. And if you understand that every algorithm of any system you use actually is made to engage you for a longer time, you understand what the echo chamber is. You're not going to see any other opinions anymore. Talk about freedom of speech? Well, it's biased and influenced on another scale. Then, of course, you could have misinformation. It's not hard to flood the internet with all kinds of information. Now, if the AI pulls all of that data together and presents it to you, it might be misleading information. And that's not hard to do. It has happened even years ago in democratic processes that were maybe not so democratic after that anymore. So we have misleading information. But the next step that could happen, you could get manipulated. We see that actually, and this was very interesting. Again, my wife, she asked the AI, how would the world look if women had led the world? Interesting question. We could have another TED Talk about that. But the interesting part is the perspective of the AI was rather biased as well. Why? Because it learned from data existing. So manipulation, of course, is possible. You need to, we work a lot with AI in my company, but we decide for each task which of the AI works better, because that's of what they are trained on. So manipulation is another thing. If you just accept what is being said, another danger. But the most critical thing that I think that we are coming towards is that the erosion of critical thinking will be gone. So erosion means we don't start to think about things anymore if we just accept it. And once you're comfortable enough to do that, it's gone. Well, why should you? There's enough people out there that don't want you to question things. And marketing, a lot of times, sorry to say, I like marketing. Some of my part is in marketing. But marketing, a lot of times, is actually about showing you something that you want without questioning it too much. Okay? So that could happen as well. So now we have those 4 points: the echo chambers, the misinformation, the manipulation, and of course, the erosion of critical thinking. Very important. We need to think about these when we stay on the blue pill side. Now, what can we do to actually stay on the red pill side? Because nobody please take a red pill just because of that. But I want to give you a framework that helps me a lot. And I have been using this for many, many years. The framework that I use, I call SCAN. And of course, this is one of those letter words where you actually work with these words. So SCAN, I call SCAN in this context, seek diverse perspectives. So how could this look? Your AI answers you with something, and you say, how many more perspectives are out there? Yeah? This is one opinion, but your AI may tell you, hey, by the way, there's 3 more perspectives. Would you like to hear some others? Because there's never always one perspective. Okay? So, challenge what you have heard. That's the other point. I tell everyone that tells me something about a problem or a challenge, I said, okay, challenge the challenge. Go down to the lowest level. First principles thinking. It's a typical point of C. Challenge what you hear and ask until all the layers are gone. And it's so easy to ask the questions because you can ask your AI even, what else could I ask? Sounds stupid, but it works. Try it. Okay? Ask, SCA, ask for sources and proof. Always do that. Find out where the information comes from. And if it has no source, well, it is being said on 325 web pages, then at least ask them which web pages. Because it's not hard to generate 325 web pages. We can script that easily with our software. So ask about sources and proof. And N, this is my personal favorite. Never stop learning about the implications of AI on your daily lives? Where is it put into a system? What are the answers coming out of there? Can it be true, or is it only partially true? So SCAN, for me, is the framework with which you can really create value from smart glasses like that. SCAN is the red pill moment, where you actually ask the right questions to get the right answers. Actually, I call the red pill actually where you can be proud of the knowledge you gain. And if you go back to the hotel, you will probably have a better time in Madagascar working with a red pill, okay? So by doing this, by never stop learning about how this all interacts with us, we can keep learning, but it's also for us and to us to teach our children and everyone to also understand the implications of that. Because they will just accept this as the new truth. So we need to teach our children that. And why do we need to do that? Because only then we can stay unbiased. Only then the world can stay a place that we like. And because we can be proud of how we can do solutions. And then AI and glasses like these, they will enable us and not lead us. So SCAN is what I hope you can take away from this.